Macaroni cheese, it's one of those dishes I crave on a really cold day. But I'm going to make mine in a bit of an unorthodox way by using some potatoes to thicken it up and make a really creamy sauce along with lots of cheese. So I'm going to be using 2 pieces from my 12-piece set. You can see that this pan is really hot because of the thermo signal. It's a solid red. So to this I want to add a good glug of olive oil to start frying off some onions and some garlic. Now because this is a very rich dish, I want to add some butter. So we want about 10 to 15 grams of butter, and I'm going to use salted butter for this, and we'll just pop that in and just let that melt away with the oil. 1 finely chopped onion, and we'll just soften that. I'll add 1 clove of garlic. I'll just bruise the garlic and then finely chop it, and then we can add that to the pan. I'll also add just a pinch of salt, just a small pinch, and you'll see that they soften up quickly. Now the potatoes for this recipe need to be Desiree potatoes. They're an all-rounder potato and they're going to cream up really nicely in this macaroni cheese. So I've just peeled them and cut them into small cubes. The smaller the cube, the faster this is going to cook. And I've also just washed them a little bit in some water. Now that those onions have softened, we can add our potatoes. That's 2 Desiree potatoes. In they go. And the reason I wash them in some water is just to take out some of that excess starch. Okay. We'll coat those potatoes in that lovely buttery onion mixture. Now to cook these potatoes, I want to cover them with some stock. I've got 2 litres of stock here. I'm going to keep this 100% vegetarian. So I'm using a vegetable stock, and we just want to use a ladle to completely cover the potatoes. So about 4 ladlefuls. We'll use the rest of this stock when I add the macaroni. All right, that's the first stage done. I'm going to remove my detachable handle, and the lid can go on, and we're just going to gently cook that until they're tender. All right, let's have a look at the potatoes to check that they are cooked. You want them to be really soft. Just pierce it through the centre, and if there's no give, they're ready to go. Now, I want the chunks of potato in this, but I also want it to be really creamy like a puree. So just grab a few ladlefuls of the potato, the onion, and that vegetable broth, and we'll just place that into a jug, and I'll blend this until it's quite smooth. So we've got 2 tones of this. So instead of adding cream or milk to this like you would do in a traditional mac and cheese, this is going to be the creamy element. So I'll just grab a stick blender and we'll blend this until it's smooth. All right, oh, that looks good. A very smooth puree. So this now goes straight back into our saute pan, pour that in, and what I like to do now is add the rest of this stock. So we'll just pour that in, and this is where we're going to be cooking the pasta. So again, something that's a little different to the norm. Usually you would cook your pasta in a pot and then add it to the sauce. Here, we're going to cook the pasta in the sauce so it absorbs all that beautiful flavour. So you need about 300 to 400 grams of macaroni, and we'll pour that in, a couple of handfuls, and you need this to come back up to the boil in order for that pasta to cook. Give that a really good stir, and then allow that to cook for about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, or until that pasta is al dente. In the meantime, I've got to get onto the cheese, a very important part of this. I've got a mixture of provolone cheese. I'm just going to cut into small cubes, some mozzarella, smoked mozzarella, so that's called scamozza, and some Parmesan cheese. This is the exact consistency that I'm after. It's not too soupy and it's also not too dry. If it's too dry, then just add a little bit more of that stock. Now to finish this off, the cheese, so the little bits of provolone, just reserving some of it because I am going to add some to the top. that smoked mozzarella or scamorza, pop that in, and some Parmesan cheese. Okay, it looks like a lot of cheese, but it's macaroni cheese. Then I'm going to fold that through, turn the heat off, and just wait for that cheese to melt through. Oh, look at that. Now, this is good enough to eat as is, but you can take it even further by adding more of that cheese as the topping. Could even add some breadcrumbs if you want that extra texture. And some more Parmesan. And the beautiful thing about this set of 12 is that they not only go on the stovetop, but they also go into the oven. So this now goes into the oven for about 5 minutes or until it's golden and bubbly. How good does this look? And this potato macaroni cheese is one of those dishes you take straight from the oven and pop it in the middle of the table. Let everyone help themselves. I'm going to help myself now. I want to show you how decadent this is. Oh, look at that. So cheesy. What I love about it is it's inexpensive but full of flavour. Little taste. It really is comfort food. Macaroni, the potatoes, cheesy. I just love this dish. I think you're gonna love it too.